I saw some Ohio State fans have not been giving up their hotel rooms. They're going to just pay for. They're just going to keep it and swallow the costs. And I disagree with it. I love the pettiness of that in terms of the rivalry. I don't think it's kind. It's not brotherly, but it is pretty. It's a little kind of it's kind of funny. There are plenty of
It's
hotels.
kind of funny. It's incredibly funny.
If you've got the money and you want to hang up the Michigan people, feel free. That's crazy. That's $1,000 investment or $800, whatever, 2 nights downtown.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
ridiculous.
necessarily know that's proving. Are
I
you
don't
going
get what
to
you're.
keep that receipt with you and print it out and show people 20 years later that
I had 2 rooms downtown for 2 nights, and those Michigan people didn't get to use them.
Some sort of Michigan fan was unhappy because they had to drive 10 minutes further than they wanted to. After a loss, I guess any type of joy, pain that you can inflict on a Michigan fan, I guess you just have to find it where you can, enjoy what you're able to do, and then make sure you tell other people about it so that you can feel the rays of good job. You should keep doing that. Good work. I'm going to tell people what you've done here.
If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around, I mean, you got to make sure that people are aware of it. I mean,
I'm curious what the ticket sales are for that game. Like, is it going to be?
I've heard resale market's pretty hot. I've heard that
Iowa and Michigan people are actually going to show up to watch the game.
That's what I've heard.
Good.
I haven't done any due diligence on it. It's not that concerned, but
it's a situation where it wasn't like either of them had clinched 3 weeks ago and knew they were going. They both clinched on 7 days notice. I mean, it was not a done deal until other things happened or, something happened 7 days out. So yeah, make a lot of plans at the last minute.
Do you guys have a rooting interest in this game?
Well, looking at travel to go to the Rose Bowl, and I've been to 3 Rose Bowls plus a game at UCLA, and not knowing what situation is post-COVID or middle of COVID in California, I don't know that I'm dead set that I have to go to the Rose Bowl again. So from a personal situation, but yet been to 44 Fiesta Bowls in 10 years. So the only other spot's the Peach Bowl, which Atlanta on January the 1st is probably going to be about 35 degrees. So I don't think we have a optimum situation any way that we look at it from our own personal self-preservation situation. There is a chance you could play Notre Dame, I suppose, which you're playing them in the first game of next year. So in some regards, it would preempt the first game of next year if it's Notre Dame. I'm not even sure who else the other teams could possibly be. I guess Baylor or
Ole Miss.
I was going to say, if you fall all the way down, where do you get? I mean, if Group of 5 doesn't send somebody to the playoff, I mean, they get stashed somewhere.
Houston,
and if
Cincinnati,
I was going to say you could end up drawing that as well.
Yeah,
could get Cincinnati and Phoenix. If Iowa wins.
Well, if Cincinnati wins, then they're in.
But I think if they lose,
they're not going to have a spot.
Will they drop out of the top 12 or so?
They'll put them at like 13 probably just to screw them. That way they don't have to take another non-entity, and it's a closed shop. It's the BCS leagues, it's they, as we say, the committee will do whatever the committee thinks is in the committee's quote unquote the Power Five's best interest. So,
and the Rose, if Michigan wins, they'll choose the highest ranked of the Big Ten teams, and that would be Ohio State over Iowa. So, if Iowa
wins the game, they go.
Well, no, I meant if Michigan is in the playoffs, if they win, they're in the playoffs.
Right. If Iowa wins, then kind of all hell breaks loose.
Then it's Michigan versus Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, it should be. Unfortunately, one will go to the Fiesta and one will go to the Peach. But
I don't want to go to Atlanta in December if I could avoid it. I mean, unless you promise me a good matchup, because I don't know how excited a lot of people are going to get about Ohio State, Utah in a Rose Bowl potentially. I mean, I just don't. And it's
Last
just not a
time they
great
played-
matchup. It's just not a great matchup for Ohio State because
there's no
it'd be a
cachet.
good chance to show that you're physical because Utah's plenty physical. Utah's plenty physical for a Pac-12 team. I mean, that's a finesse league, but Utah doesn't play like a lot of teams out there. So, I don't know how much people would be looking forward to that one.
Last time Ohio State played Utah was, I think, my freshman year at Ohio State, 1986. And I think they beat them 64-6, something like that. So
That was the score.
now, obviously, Utah's football program has obviously moved in new directions since then. But it's.
I was going to say, did they have football before Urban Meyer and Kyle Whittingham? I don't even
Irving
know.
Myers.
Well, you guys all remember the push for a rematch in the BCS championship game in 2006, Ohio State, Michigan. Tony, you brought it up. But would there be some kind of, I would think that there would be some powers out there would think that this would be a blockbuster rematch.
Well, and I don't know if the rules would prohibit the Peach or the Fiesta from taking two teams from the same conference. Like, I don't know what their contract states. Like, they have those two bowls, like they have no conference affiliations to where they have to take this or that. But I don't know if the rules in general of the New Year's Six would frown about that. I don't know that. I mean, I threw that up last night in a podcast that we recorded, and it's like, is that a good idea? Is that a bad idea? I don't know. It would catch them up from last year's game, I guess. Call it the 2020 COVID national, whatever. And
I would think it would be a ratings blockbuster.
No doubt.
You think it would do better than Ole Miss versus Ohio State, or Ole Miss versus Michigan, or North Carolina State, or Pitt versus Ohio State? I mean, come on. No way, no chance.
Well, I made the point, not only are Ohio State fans, if you want to go to the Rose Bowl, pulling for Michigan, I think Michigan State fans have to pull for Michigan too, because if Michigan wins, it opens a spot for Michigan State potentially to be in the New Year's Six. If not, there's no bowl for them to go to. If you slot Michigan at one and Ohio State in the other, there's no other bowl for Michigan State to go to. So they go to the Citrus Bowl under that scenario. So it's strange bedfellows, Ohio State and Michigan State fans, for the, quote, best case scenario, are rooting for Michigan to beat Iowa.
They're not rooting for Michigan. They're rooting against Iowa.
Rooting against Iowa, yes. I
They're
put that
rooting
on the
against
message
Michigan.
board, and I got so many messages. I will never, under penalty of death, root for them. So, it's like, okay.
Phrasing. It's all about phrasing.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
I'm double checking myself. I got that right. In 1978, Oklahoma and Nebraska played a rematch in the Orange Bowl. So they
Wow.
played in the same conference. One of them won the championship. Nebraska won the regular season championship, and the Orange Bowl selected Oklahoma to play Nebraska in a
Awesome.
rematch in the Orange Bowl.
I think that they would have to send a trial balloon out to both athletic directors and say, are you guys interested in this? And I'm not sure what the response would be. From
Yeah,
Michigan or Ohio State. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what the response would be. Why would Michigan risk giving back 11 months worth of momentum to Ohio State? And why would Ohio State risking their ass beat by Michigan twice
Getting
in a 5-week period?
double L.
I mean, I think there's risk involved on both sides.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we've already
Absolutely,
seen, we saw Michigan already duck Ohio State once, so it's no big deal for them to do it again.
It's in their DNA.
Oh boy, that sounds like an ender to me.
Yeah. I think we
It
went out of a
is.
high note there.
Although I basically want to say, it would kind of be a Michigan thing to, not do what the Red Sox did when they finally got past the Yankees and you got to complete the run, win the World Series. That Michigan loses the Big Ten championship game. And then could you imagine they rematch Ohio State and everybody's like, yeah, Ohio State's really better. They just beat them.
No, you know what? In my plan, Ohio State and Michigan will play each other in a national championship game. So get on board with that.
Okay, Tone, I'm on board with it. Let's get the rematch in Indy. How about that?
Perfect.
I like your
Phenomenal.
plan.
Easy flight.
Baylor wins 3-2. You're out. Sorry. No style points for you. Sorry. Out. I don't care. Get your stuff and get out.
Passed you up in 14. Got to pass you up again.
You're a flyover football program.